Welcome everybody, it's great to have you here today. I'd like to especially welcome our guest today, Jamie McKean. Welcome, Jamie. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and just where you've come from?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, and hi everyone, wherever you're watching this or listening to this. I've come from, I know I'm going to be facetious and say 10 minutes away, but I think you need a bit more detail than that. And from my side, I'm sitting here, and it's funny because you've just been on my podcast and we're flipping the table, so now I get asked the questions. But I've spent the past 15 years trying to help people and help people be successful. I've been in the helping people in essence for about 25 years. But about 20 years, I read the book, The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. And The E-Myth, if you haven't read the book, really great book. And if you're watching and listening to this, really recommend it. But The E-Myth is about the entrepreneurial myth, the E is the entrepreneur. And it's about people who are really good at what they do and they think, I'm really good at this, so I'm going to start my own business. And you'll hear all the stats about 4 out of 5 businesses fail after X number of years because a lot of these people who are very good at what they do are technicians, but they're not entrepreneurs. And they try and be the entrepreneur and they fail because they're just really, really good technicians. It's like someone being really good at a job and they get promoted to the manager role. So technician, manager, and entrepreneur are the 3 things out of the book. And then they fail. Why? Because they're really good at that. They don't want to do that. But the really important bit is to understand that to be really successful, and grow a business, which is technically an asset. I know you talk about that as assets. You need to be an entrepreneur and also have the roles of manager and technician covered as well. Otherwise, you just spend 70 hours a week working and probably earn $10 an hour. So I read that book about 20 years ago and I put myself through an MBA remotely, paid for it, to try and learn more about business to be able to help people. Made so many different decisions to the point where my first child was due. About 4 days after I took a redundancy. So I was helping a business at the time. I was a professional services manager and we restructured the business. And my job became 3 roles. And they said, which one do you want? I said, I don't. This isn't right for me. Didn't know what was right for me, but that wasn't right for me.
Yes.
So signed my redundancy, literally had no job. First baby was due in a few days. She is now 15, coming on 16. So people say, how long have you been doing it? I'm like, eldest. And I've made many decisions along the way, but for the past 15 years, been running my own business. And in essence, been walking the talk in terms of helping people and helping them grow their business. So I started off as a business consultant. I went to the UK for a week and invested a huge amount in a business in a box consultancy.
Yes. Came
back within 4 days, was earning $10,000, which I thought that's pretty good. I think I was the top earner in the world that quickly. And went out and got myself a really nice car. Going, well, if it's this easy, I'll go do that, you know. And within 3 months, I had too many clients, so I couldn't actually be a consultant. So I had to move into coaching to work out how to restructure my business. Probably 6 months after that, I had coaches coming to me saying, how come you're getting so many clients?
Yeah.
Because there's so many great coaches in the world, but they just don't know how to get clients. And my journey's just kept evolving over time. It's been being open to what opportunities evolve and open up and which doors open, to the point where the past 7 or 8 years, my team and I have been working with clients all over the world, and we've worked with some of the biggest names in the world. Tony Robbins' company has been a client of ours for a few years. Some other really big names are clients or have been clients. And when they run big events, my team build it, run it, and make sure nothing breaks. Yes. And we've run more than 70 of those really big events. Those events would have 200,000 people opt in 2 weeks. And then on the back end, they'd sell about $1 million worth of sales.
Yeah, awesome.
So we've been able to have a pretty big impact on a small number of people, a small number of big names. But about a year ago, I changed because for quite a long time, I've had this voice in my head which saying, you want to help more people. And I want to help the people who are not the biggest in the industry, but getting started or at a certain level and want to go more. And so I invested in my own SaaS platform.
Yep.
software as a service, an online platform, which is an all-in-one marketing and sales platform. So I can bring my 15 years of experience of online marketing into one place to help hundreds of people instead of just helping 5 people who are paying me 100 grand each a year, which is, don't get me wrong, that's a nice way to be. And my team do most of the work and I work 1 or 2 hours a day, but I've got this real want to help more people. So that's what I'm focused on and working on with AutomationWorx.
So tell me about the customer journey then. What do people experience with you with what you're offering?
Yeah, cool. So there's I guess 3 different types of outcome people want. One is that they are on another platform and they just want to move off that platform to come onto our platform. So we have we call it My Great Mate. We basically handhold someone, give them concierge service to make it as easy as possible, because a lot of people out there get really hung up on technology. And I say to people, I came out the closet about 9 years ago. I'll tell the story. For years, I was helping people with marketing, but then I actually came out of the closet and said, I do technology as well. I've self-taught technologist since about the age of 12. So I can look at any technology system and within a few minutes know how it works, like a second language. And I always thought that telling people about technology would be a commodity and make me a commodity and cheapen what I do. But what I found is there's a lot of people in the world who do marketing and a lot of people in the world who do technology, but there's not very many who did both of them.
Right. Yes.
So I bring that experience together into the platform. So the Migration Mate is helping people move off whatever platform they're on and probably paying too much for it today, whether that's Keep, aka Infusionsoft, Ontraport, HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, all these names of platforms that people use, into one. Also, what I find is a lot of people have multiple platforms. So they might have one of the ones I've just said, or MailChimp. They might have a website. They might have a calendar system. They might have a video hosting with Wistia or Vimeo. And they spend all this money on all these different platforms, whereas our platform is all of it in one place. So you get one bill, it'll be less, and you only have one login, and it's a lot easier to use. And it all talks to each other instead of on this. So that's one path. So that's simplifying people's technology. The next one is people who are trying to scale themselves. So they already have online marketing and they're looking for help and advice to grow their world and their impact. And then the third one is something I call Automate. And it's how to get time back every day.
Right.
And this is I enjoy them all, but this is one of my favorite ones because I work 1 to 2 hours a day every day. And people say to me, how do you do that? I want your life. And it's like, well, it's been based on making decisions for the past 10 or 12 years. It's not just I woke up one morning and went, today I'm just going to work an hour. Thanks, everyone. It's not that. It's what I call a snowball effect. It's the incremental changes that you can make literally every day, which compounds, a bit like the asset management and growing assets over time. This is the time asset. And how do you do that slowly over time? But it's doing it in a very specific way. I'll give you an example. So one of the things I do in my day, actually, I start my day, apart from saying good morning to the kids, is I am on a radio show every day, Monday to Friday. Local radio show, and I'm the quiz master. So we do a quiz every day. And recently I proposed to the radio station, let's put it on YouTube. I'll take care of everything, but we're doing it anyway. Let's get more viewers and listeners by putting it onto YouTube. And so we'll call it the YouTube content machine. Right? And if you're listening to this and you've got your own business, the key thing to think about is, what do you repeat day in and day out that technically you shouldn't be doing? Right, and what do I mean by that? This goes back to the hourly rate conversation. And we've talked about this before. And one of your key things that you try and help people with is making sure they increase their hourly rate as much as possible. And so there's a great book, Stephen Koch, K-O-C-H, I think it is, Koch. He wrote Richard Koch, the 80-20 principle.
Yes.
And in there's a table and it talks about hourly rates. And there's people out there who will do $10 hourly rates, then $100, then $1,000 and $10,000 hourly rates.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can have one amazing idea, and that could be a 10,000 an hour or even more, right? In my business, I would meet with a client at the beginning and I would set up things and structure things, and then I would pass it to the team. That client could be a 5-year client for $100,000 a year, $500,000.
Yeah.
And I really spent an hour.
Yeah.
So my hourly rate's worth $500,000. But a lot of people can't get their head around that. And it's thinking about how valuable your time is. And so for me, I'd identify anything I do in the day that I shouldn't be doing that costs $10 or less that I can give to someone else.
Right.
And if you're a business owner, these are one of the first things you need to get to, so you can start making sure your hourly rate increases and you free yourself up to spend more time on $100 or the $1,000 or the $10,000 hourly rates.
Yes.
And yes, this costs a little bit of money, but it's thinking about it more like an investment to free up your time, because the most valuable thing we all have is time.
Yes.
I've heard people, you've got the same amount of time as Bill Gates. Why is he different? Good question. He's used his time differently. Yes. And yes, he was in opportunities and all the different things. There was a computer at his school and all those things lined up. But you'll never know for yourself unless you make the time to make those opportunities available for you.
Yep.
And so what I help people do is identify something that's a repeatable task in their day. And first of all, look to implement technology to take away a certain number of tasks. And then the next day, I say sprinkle in an assistant to do some of the pieces. And if you do that with repeatable tasks that you have each day, and then repeatable tasks you might have each week, and then repeatable tasks you might have each month, you can literally give yourself back about 30 hours a week.
Right.
In your day.
Yeah.
So I nearly jumped into an example, but given that context, so talking through the example I jumped into too early, I apologize for that, is I identify something that's going to take up my time. So I already do a daily radio show.
Yeah.
And the idea is put it into YouTube every day. Cool. So what we do is we take that task and we break it out into its component parts. So that task by itself, and I invite you to do this, if there's anything you repeat every day, do this exercise. List all the steps that you have to follow. So for the quiz, step 1, get the questions.
Yeah.
Step 2, go online and deliver it.
Yeah.
Be the quiz master. Step 3, download the recording from Zoom. Step 4, edit the recording.
Yeah.
Step 5, upload the recording into YouTube. Add the title, add the description. Step 6, QA, make sure it's okay. Publish it.
Yeah.
Okay. Step 7 is promote it, but those steps, let's just stick with those 6 for now. Okay. Those 6 steps, when you add all the time up, takes me 62 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So creating questions every day for a quiz, 15 minutes.
Yep.
Delivering the quiz, 15 minutes. Downloading it, 5 minutes. Editing it, maybe 20 minutes. Uploading it, however long that takes. Not long, you can just click it and let it go. Doing the description, etc., another 5 minutes.
Yes.
And then QA, a few minutes. Add all that up, 62 minutes.
Right.
Okay, I did a table. Okay, great. So that's part 1. I've identified it. I've got the tasks. I now know how much longer it takes me every day. I would like an hour back in my day. Okay, so I want to now automate this.
Yes.
So when I apply technology to a couple of these things, I can apply technology so the download of the video and the upload of the video is all automated, so I literally don't have to touch anything.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So just by applying automation, I can save, and I went through the line items, I can save, I'm now down from 62 minutes to 45 minutes. Yeah. So I'm saving whatever, that's 17 minutes.
Yeah.
Just by applying a little bit of technology. Okay. So what bits does a human need to do? Okay. Create the quiz questions. Okay. I've tried with AI. Not reliable. I remember asking a question via AI and it was wrong. So you learn. But okay, how can I do the quiz questions? Okay, that needs a person. The video editing needs a person to get involved. And then the QA at the end needs a person to get involved. Okay, I've actually already systemized the description and title, so that's already taken care of. So I'm just at these bulk things now. Great. So this is part 2 where I sprinkle in an assistant.
Yes.
The assistant does the questions. Okay. They're delivering the quiz. I have to do that. I'm technically the talent. So that's me. I'm Jamie the Quizmaster. That's the only one I can't not do.
Yeah.
So that one stays with me. Although in time, there's probably an AI version of me that could do it. That's a different concept. Really hard to do banter with AI. The next one is editing the video. Okay. An assistant can do that. You just give them the frame on how to do it. And then the final QA, I still want to do that myself.
Yeah.
So now I've sprinkled a VA in. Now it's down to 17 minutes a day.
Right.
So I've just saved 45 minutes a day from applying technology and sprinkling an assistant.
Yes.
The assistant costs $10 an hour.
Right.
Okay. And so now every day I do the quiz. I turn up, the questions are ready. I just check them to make sure I can read them. Can I pronounce those? I'm doing it live on radio. Yes, I can. So that takes a couple of minutes just to check. Usually while I'm drinking my coffee. Yeah, it's okay. Deliver. I hang up. It's done. The next thing I know about it, I get an email saying the video's ready in YouTube for you to QA. And I go in, check it. It looks all good. I publish it.
Right.
So 1 to 2 minutes with a coffee, deliver it, 1 to 2 minutes QA check. Just say 45 minutes a day, which is 3 hours 45 a week, which if I was aiming for a 30-hour saving, it's 11 and a bit percent of that target with one activity.
Yeah.
And that's just one example. And so what I do with people is identify those activities. And that would cost me, by the way, $34 a week for the 3 hours 45 that I'm saving for $10 an hour.
Yeah.
Actually a little bit less than that because some of that's technology. But so $30 a week and almost 4 hours. Now I can use those 4 hours to look for the next opportunity.
Yes. What
can I streamline next? And when I work with clients, we forensically go through their day. What are you? And most of these things people don't enjoy to do.
Yeah.
Or they might enjoy it, but going, do you really enjoy it, or would you rather your hourly rate multiply by 10? That one, please. Yeah. So we work through one of them, get it baselined, get it installed. If people don't have an assistant, we can help them get an assistant. I've used virtual assistant VAs for literally 15 years. Before, when I was in the corporate world, I ran offshore teams.
Right.
And almost as soon as I started my own business, I straight away got myself an offshore team.
Yeah.
And I've had teams all over the world in lots of different countries. At one point, I had 50 staff in the Philippines.
Right.
But today I've got a much smaller number. I've got one still in the Philippines. She's been with me 12 years. But most of the team in North America, because that's where most of my clients are today.
Yeah.
But the aim is to work with you to map out the first one, show you how many hours or minutes you're working, streamline those steps. We realize the results and the savings, and then we say, what's number 2?
Yes.
And that's the snowball effect. That's the incremental, and we keep doing that. And then what I hope people will get is the same almost addiction that I've got, which is, how can I outsource or make my life more convenient?
Yes.
Okay, I'm here talking to you. My house is being vacuumed right now by the robot vacuum. Amazing, right? Because it's something I don't want to do. Also have dust allergy, that's a different conversation. But it's just something I don't have to think about. And there's so many of these things we can install in our life, not just work, which can save us time, because then when I'm at home, I don't need to think of, I've got to do that, I've got to do that, I've got to do that. Mm. I get a food box delivered with the instructions. I don't have to think about it. Yeah. I want to save my brain space for the $10,000 an hour things. Yeah. So I'm fresh to help people. And anything else that I can streamline around me, I have, and that's what I help people with.
So in effect, you're creating efficiencies to help people earn more money and get more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. How do you get your customers?
For years now, I've tried lots of different ways. Literally 15 years of doing this, and I've got clients through Google Ads, through Facebook Ads. But by far away, the thing that's worked the most for me is referrals.
Right.
And sometimes it's even without asking. But you do want to have a very clear referral strategy in place where you get a really good result for someone. And when you get that result, that's the trigger to say, hey, do you know someone else who could benefit from that thing you've just experienced? Most of the time, people really want to show you off and go, yeah, because they feel valuable to other people. So then they'll say, hey, such and such, you should speak to Jamie. And then they connect me. And usually 70 to 80% of those will come off because you've just got the trust and credibility off this person passing you to that person. So when they join together, the conversations are usually a lot quicker. And the way I start is that I have a 15-minute chat with someone to see if I can help them, see if there's a fit. And if there is, then they can become a client from there. So that's how that works.
If people wanted to find more about you, Jamie, where would they go to?
Sure. So you can go to AutomationWorx, which is our platform. So AutomationWorx with an X on the end, .co. So spell it how you say it, automation, WORX.co. And that's our all-in-one platform. And potentially by the time you watch this or hear this, there's going to be versions of the Automate on there and the Migrate Mate on there, because a lot of people are asking for help moving off platforms. But those who really want to optimize their hours and time say, yeah, I want an Automate Mate. Please help me, show me how to do it. And I absolutely love helping people get back time so they can spend time on things that are more important in their lives, like their family or whatever they want to do. For me, being selfish and talking about me, for me, it's about spending time with my girls and trying to be the best dad I can be. I've got 3 teenage daughters. I'm not a girl. I don't know how teenage girls are meant to work, right? So I'm trying to figure that out. So I need time for that. I really can't delegate that bit. And so that's what I choose to spend my time on. And everyone else will have a different why and what's important to them. And I want to help them free up time to spend it on that.
Great. So if you had one philosophy you wanted to share or leave people with, what would that be?
Yeah, good question. And you did tell me you're going to ask me that. And okay, one thing that I repeat very often is everything's figure-outable.
Right.
I think Marie Forleo wrote the book, said everything's figure-outable. That's where the term came from. But it's a pretty cool life mantra, because when you run in your own business, it's hard. And when you're a dad of teenage daughters, it's hard. Most of life is hard, right? People look at me and go, you work 1 to 2 hours. Yeah. There's still quite a lot of hard bits in life.
Yeah.
But you just keep reminding yourself everything's figure-outable, because then you come to any situation with a mindset open enough to try and figure it out. Instead of being a victim and saying, I can't deal with this or this is too hard, leading yourself with everything's figure-outable, you're almost stepping into it to try and help solutionize, solve things, fix things. So everything's figure-outable.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Jamie. It's been wonderful to have you here and sharing your wisdom.
Thank you for having me.